Awesome. Welcome to Random Stream. And yes, that's the name I'm going for this Random Streams. Yeah, so if you haven't been with me on any of the past streams, then what I do is pretty random. And I kind of like the idea of it. Basically, we gonna just randomly pick one of these platforms and depending on where we landed, we're gonna just go there and randomly start either reviewing different things from that platform. For example, on Twitter, I have like a bunch of different tweets I bookmarked or threads I bookmarked, and I would love to kind of like review some of those, just because plenty of times I bookmark these things and never go back, and and it's just sitting in my folder. So that would be one of an option. The Wikipedia is pretty awesome because they have this option on the left hand side of the page if you go there, and it's called random article. And when you select that, it just opens up one of the random Wikipedia page, and we can dive into the whole new world of some random topic. Um, Likewise, I like IMDb because, people are emotional when they post different reviews. I love to kind of read some of the snarky, funny, you know, um, reviews users post on like random shows or movies. And lastly, Reddit. Reddit is for everything, right? You can go there and lose yourself in like memes or news or you name it. So let's see, what are we going to lose ourselves in too. All right, so I'm gonna just click here and leave this to chance. Let's Reddit it is. Yeah, I like Reddit because first of all, the format is pretty straightforward. I'm not gonna lock in. I would not do that. Uh, but wait, let's get into the hot topic. Marge, Marjorie Taylor Greene was victim of swatting at Rome residence. Police confirms. So Wild Waste says, guess what? Swatting has been and is still a major problem. Sending a group of armed and armored individuals into an unknown situation on the basis of only a phone call is bound to lead to injuries or death of citizens and public servants alike. Ex Warrior YC. The flip side is that if they ignore an anonymous tip that happens to be credible, that would be seen as incredibly negligent. It's a fine line for sure. Sorry, dude, I thought they aren't obligated to help and can ignore whatever they want. Hedonistic frog. That's what the Supreme Court ruled when they said police weren't required to enforce restraining orders after a father abducted his kids and then murdered them before committing suicide by cop. The mother told police exactly where he was with the kids, and they told her to wait 24 hours for him to return the kids. Absolutely unconscionable. I mean, see, you can see it, all right? Like how the topic went from one place to a completely different place. And I'm kind of curious to see Bert Macklin underscore FBI to see how they would respond, he or she. I mean, I don't want to be controversial and mispronounce someone, but Bert is definitely a he. But let's just go with they. It's easier that way. But this particular user, either they're gonna be responding to this new comment or the original comment, and that's what I love about internet. You never know. This is a bit different, but there was also the guy who was stabbed somebody to death in full view of police who stood on the other side of a subway door and made the choice not to assist. They were found to not be guilty of anything and not in dereliction of their duty in their decision not to step in. Edit, the man being stabbed was the one to ultimately defuse the situation. Joe Quill. Joe Cool. The stabbed civilian stopped the stabber. Then the cops tried to take all the credit for stopping the crime. If you're talking about the NYC subway stabbings. Yes, I couldn't remember if it was in fact the stabbed guy that ended up taking him down or whatever. I still remember that story and I always tell it when anyone thinks the police have to help. Yeah, apparently in New York, at least, protect and serve is literally not their job. Just a saying, you know? The Supreme Court says so. So it's the precedent. Freaking hilarious, yet depressing. I'm so glad they consume so much of my city's budget. If only corruption weren't blatantly rampant, we would have a chance at actually manifesting meaningful change. Yeah, good luck with that. Real ultimate power pigeon. It's almost like most cops are worse than useless. Hedonic frog. They really are, especially if you're black. And that name again. Yes, but since that's an immensely overstated fact, and the vast majority of 911 calls are responded to in some way, that's not really relevant. Oh, I think they are responding to a different comment, but it's still kind of see how that conversation already went in a different direction. But let's get back in here and see. Persian X6 response. Good thing Marjorie Taylor Greene is pro no knock rates. Actually, we don't know if she personally is because she's so batshit crazy. Her body is though, so there's that. Groin shots responded. It has already happened. An Ohio gamer gets prison time over a swatting call that led to a man's death. Okay. When was this? September 14, 2019. An Ohio video gamer who played a role in a hoax phone call that led police to kill a man in Kansas was sentenced Friday to 15 months in prison, authorities said. KCS Viner, 19, was one of three defendants in a case of swatting, making a false report to send police somewhere. That led Wichita police to erroneously shoot and kill 28-year-old Andrew Finch at his front door in December 2017. Authorities said Viner asked one of the co-defendants to make the call because of an argument over an online video game, an argument that turned out not even to have involved Finch. Viner, of a Cincinnati suburb, was sentenced in federal court in Wichita after pleading guilty to one count each of conspiracy and obstructing justice. The U.S. Attorney's Office for Kansas said, swatting is not a prank, and it is no way to resolve dispute among gamers. U.S. Attorney Stephen McAllister said, once again, I call upon gamers to self-police their community to ensure that the practice of swatting is ended once and for all. The man who made the call, Tyler Raj Barris of California, was sentenced earlier this year to 20 years in federal prison. 20 years. What? Well, I mean, sure, that action led to a death, but 20 years seems a bit harsh. An argument about a game led to the call. Okay, so Weiner admitted that he had argued with the third co-defendant, a gamer in Wichita, over a multiplayer session of Call of Duty World War II. Authorities said Viner was upset because the Wichita Gamer, a teammate of his during the session, killed his in game character. During this argument, I should say Winner instead of saying Viner because Winner threatened to swat the teammate, and the teammate responded by providing an address and saying, "Please try some shit," the affidavit says. Winner then enlisted Barris to swat the Wichita Gamer using the address that had been provided, authorities said. The address, it turned out, was not where the Wichita Gamer currently lived, but where he used to live, authorities said. Actually, living at the address was Fincher, unaware of what was happening. How the call and the shooting unfolded. So, on the evening of December 28, 2017, a 911 caller told the dispatcher in Kansas Sedgwick County of a shooting and a possible hostage situation at Finch's address, police said. Dispatchers reported that the caller said he shot his father in the head and was holding his mother and brother at gunpoint. The caller also warned he wanted to kill himself and light the house on fire, authorities said. Wichita police went to the home and surrounded it. Finch came out of the house when police arrived and was shot, according to U.S. Attorney, when he dropped his hands as officers were telling him to raise his arms. Finch died at a hospital. Officers found no hostage situation or killing inside the home. Investigators would later learn that the 911 caller was Barris, calling from Los Angeles through a Wichita number he acquired through a cell phone app, authorities said. Barris pleaded guilty to making a false report, resulting in death and dozens of other counts related to other calls in which no one was hurt. His plea also covered bomb threats Barris made to the Federal Communications Commission's headquarters in Washington. The third co-defendant, the Wichita Gamer, has been placed on deferred prosecution, McAllister's office said. Finner's obstruction of justice charge related to his attempt to erase records of his communication with Barris and the Wichita Gamer, according to McAllister's office. As part of his sentence, Finner also was ordered to pay $2,500 in restitution and serve 2 years of supervised release. Yikes. So, Reddit. Whoever did this is a huge piece of shit for two reasons. Number one, it's dangerous and should not be done to anybody, ever. Number two, not this spaghetti for brains maniac gets to play the victim card for the next 2 months. And be guaranteed she'll blame the left for it. Wouldn't it be funny if like someone from her team or someone did this and I wouldn't rule this out? I mean, these people are batshit crazy. So, um, is there a probability of something like that happening? Yes. The probability is low though, but still, yes. The probability is low because whoever did this, I think they're gonna get caught because police can trace the records, like call records at least, and hopefully with some good detective work, they would be able to trace down not only who called, but maybe more aspects of it, like um, regardless, I hope they get caught, and I hope it. The funny thing would be if it happened to be one of the team members of Marjorie Taylor Greene, like the whole Jesse Smollett thing where he kind of staged an attack on himself. I hope this is something like that. It would be super spicy, but I'm not saying it is. But let's see how it develops. Care Bear overshare. That's a weird name. They said, and for one, she would probably be correct, or at least an individual from the left, since the right or the left are not really monoliths. She'd blame them if a swarm of pigeons all shit on her car. To be fair, that's a somewhat reasonable conclusion to jump to. And she's most likely correct to think that. Did you read the article? The left is to blame for this specific instance. Hmm. What else is brewing? Two men guilty of conspiring to kidnap Governor Gretchen Whitmer. Singapore government to repeal Section 377A, a penal code that criminalizes gay sex between men. No jail time for hit and run driver who killed prospective NYU student. Alright, Reddit. We're gonna go back to different Reddit. Ask Reddit. It's a good thread. How would you describe what you do for a living in a way that makes absolutely no sense? I make devices that pull chicken skulls apart. Ooh. Oh, children's skull. Oh, I thought chicken, but I make devices that pull children's skulls apart. Okay. Orthodontist? Good job. I'm the lag tech in an orthodontics office. I was hoping for brain surgeon, but teeth doctor is good. So Extreme Sock 770 says, I add thousands of pounds of weight to vehicles, then people drive home. Oh, 2,000 pound chauffeur? Nope, you're ridiculous, but I'm not sure why you're single with your sense of humor. Also, a good band name. Okay, ridiculously single. See, I love Reddit. Tow truck driver. Good guess, but it is landscape supplies, rocks of many types, and concrete products. Last time I had to pick up a ton of rocks. The landscape yard gave me a shovel. I was like, can I get maybe some help with that? That and cool. We have loaders and forklifts. If we are extremely busy and the customers only need a small amount, like 5-gallon buckets, they can grab it at themselves. Otherwise, we load it all unless you jump in for hand loading into a smaller vehicle. Yeah, after a lot of convincing, eventually someone came and loaded a pallet into the truck. But it was too heavy by about 1,500 pounds, so I still had to shovel a bunch out. Definitely not as bad as loading up a ton. But as a high school girl running errands for my dad, it was not what I expected. We definitely advise against overloading and highly recommend making a second trip. A lot of people don't know their vehicle's load limit. If you don't know the limit, you can find that info on the sticker on the inside of your door. Gross vehicle weight. They should have helped you unload, in my opinion. And of course, my mind went to armoring cars for some reason. You live in a rough neighborhood? Nah, paranoia for no good reason. Alright, so Pablo Bormont says, I solve problems that have no practical consequence whatsoever and take years to understand. Mathematician? Spot on. Kind Mering 1912? I think that's. They say, not me, but a friend described his profession as slapping dead goats really hard. Tom Sherry says, I'm not sure what the job title is, but the person who prepares deceased models at natural history museums, that or hardcore goat fluffer. I think you're right about a taxidermist. That's the right word, thanks. So, a hard goat stuffer. Sticky fibers make strong thing. What? Uh, uh, which actually sounds about fiberglass, carbon fiber. Retired drug pusher, pharmacist. You got it. I help cut people apart to cure them. Chainsaw with a heart of gold. Surgical technician. Dang, I had my hopes up. Your guess is way cooler. I choose to believe my guess is true. This dude is kind of funny. Or, I mean, it's a single, so gotta be dude, right? Just just a simple wanker 21 says, I make holes. To it. Huckle Butter responds, Stanley Yelnuts? I don't know what that even mean or where that's going, so I'm just gonna skip it. Wait. Good morning, ma'am. Good afternoon, sir. Thank you very much. See you next time. Oh, howdy. A cowboy? Walmart greeter in Texas. Wow. Otaka Conan, you must be really old, bro. Welcome to Costco. I love you. You get paid for greeting people in supermarket? The USA is weird, man. People greeting you at the entrance of a store is such a surreal idea. Only experienced it at Primark. But even then, these people were more security than greeters. I would probably feel creeped out by the overly friendly, inauthentic friendliness in places like Walmart. No offense to you and your job, everyone needs something to pay the bills, and this seems like a fine way to get paid. Well, I make the magic screen to do things, but not in a way that actually shows up on the magic screen. LSD tester? Bro, I fucking love your awful guesses. Uh, yeah, is it a job? If so, where do I submit applications? Backend developer, programmer, or software developer. Also, I'm a fellow non-screen magic screen thing doer. Okay, Catacomb 82 says, I study things that are super old but also happening right now. Historian? No, think STEM. Time traveling quark studies? It's astrophysics, so close enough. What's it like being smart? It's mostly imposter syndrome. My other PhD friends say the same. I worked at a well known aerospace startup for a year as a graphic designer. There was around 200 aerospace engineers. About 10 of them were true geniuses, and the other 190 were trying not to be found out as non geniuses didn't seem fun. I use vibrations to make people feel emotions. Accord- Accordion master? DJ. Bam. I make money of the money that people gave other people who pulled it together and gave that money to other people seeking money. Mr. Burns. Oh, that's a Simpsons. Stonks. Simpson. Release the hound. You work at bank. Major loan shark. Come on, yeah, Mr. Dude. Should have responded to some fun here. Alright, where do we go? I tell people to do things for which I don't have any knowledge about. Are you Dr. Laura Skillesinger? Who in the world is that? So she is an American talk radio host and author of her whatever book. Oh, so she's caller requests for personal advice and often features her short monologues on social and political topics. Okay, so I tell people do things for which I don't have any knowledge about. Nice. Barber for the teeth. For the earth. Oh, barber for the earth. Landscaper. Really just lawn mowing. Less something I do for a living and more something I do on the side. I get verbally abused and physically attacked by the public and bring them turkey sandwiches and ginger ale. Airplane attendant. I wouldn't want to fly on that airline. Turkey sandwich where mayo mustard is extra. ER nurse. After Dust says people pay me to fix their TikToks with chemicals and trigonometry. Added for clarity, I use really small heavy machinery. TikToks? What? There are chronomancer or a time major. Okay, but come on. This is people pay me to fix their TikToks with chemicals and trigonometry. What is TikToks? Is with chemicals and trigonometry. Maybe it's like a bug thing. I think exting extinguisher or whatever they call it. Mechanic who repairs clocks. Hot damn, we have a winner. It's not exact, but you're so close. I'll give it to you. I'm a machinist who repairs clocks. What? Wow, there are people who are still repairing clocks. Wow. I grow happy trees. Weed grower. Nice. Bingo. Cryptokinstorm says immersing wheat powder and cane juice in boiling canola juice, covering it in more cane juice, and exchanging it for green paper. You make the donuts? I make the donuts. Hello, I'm listening. The CIA? Nope. Typical CIA response. No, the typical CIA response would be to delete this thread and your account. Sounds like you might be in the CIA then. The real CIA would switch accounts and imply a threat. Then create fake terror threat for them to solve and arrest you if you're not a registered Democrat. That's funny. I mean, or delete OP. Yes, the cutting internet agency. You're a Frasier? What's new? I'm listening. Feeling blue or whatever. I convince young people to do things they're not sure about. Okay, yoga mat salesperson. Uh, excellent answer. Miles up, but excellent. Prostitute. People are. People are funny. Army recruiter, that's good. Are you really both a DJ and a guidance counselor? I'm not saying it's impossible, but it is interesting. Youth worker, training to become a social worker with a side hustle as a mobile DJ. 9 years this month. Life is busy. Okay, I use missiles and to let toxic rodents of cliffs into vats of burning sulfur. You play Lemmings on the SNES professionally? Close. Sega Genesis. Avenging Angel. I mean, clearly these are all some gaming references which I have no idea about. Slippity Slappity says, I give people things for free and hope they return them. Librarian, yes. Living Murphy's Law, I let robots murder each other, record it, and let people watch. Mega Man Twitch streamer? Nope. YouTuber. Water Buffalo 750 says, I'm on call 24/7. I am in charge of the organization's finances, maintenance, dietary needs, and logistics. I'm at the beck and call of colleagues 30 years my junior, and the job pays nothing. A parent? A very apt way to describe a stay at home parent or any parent. I mix fine white powder to save buildings from collapsing from heat. Cocaine dealer for immigrant laborers. These guesses are better than the real answer, of course. Fire suppressant materials manufacturer. Clothes and the guy who applies it to stuff. Thank you. I like not burning, or at least have some extra time to escape. BZB underscore 83 says, my industry ensures you only win if you lose. Insurance? Bingo. Yeah, that's a good one. Orange corpses and then people consume them along with drugs. Chef? Precisely. I make animal titty juice higher in temperature and mix it with bone crushed plant ovary water for multi-billion-dollar corporation. Barista, Starbucks, animal titty juice, that's obviously milk, and mix it with bone crushed plant ovary water. Okay, ovary water. Cheesemaker guy, soy latte, not with the animal titty juice, it's not. Oh, that's funny. Yeah, you're correct. Not sure what I was thinking. Everyone gets a bit distracted by titty juice. Not your fault. I guess I'm a plant ovary guy. Milk tea, but what corporation? My wife. Yes, I'm answering this to every question. I make sure things don't get too hot. Thermometer smasher. Your playful nature is awesome. Love it. People come to me with bad blood and I figure out how to fix it. Marriage and family therapist. Oh, that's a good one. Hematologist. Meow 1983 says, I spend time and money improving other people with very little pay, and everyone thinks my job is so easy. But today, someone said I was the best, and that made it worth it. A teacher? People pay me a lot to manipulate them. Coach Chester? Sort of like the modern day equivalent. I intentionally put myself in harm's way with the possibility of going blind, breathing dangerous fumes, and severely burning myself. Customer service. That's a good one. I write symbols on tree. People can't seem to get enough of it though. Book otter? Yep, otter. I dissect cardboard boxes and then disembowel them, and I spread their entrails among the shelves. Overnight stalker at Walmart, dude. Why would you? Why would you just say what you do? That's not what. All right, you're so traditional. At 60 61, do as you please. I hold beer. Says, I put tubes into holes that 99.9% of the world has never seen. Sewer management or repair? Much more sterile than that. You work in medicine? Yeah. How much more specific can you get? Well, given your other replies and that you're putting tubes in, it could be heart stents. Am I close? Colonoscopy, yeah. Not surgical, but I make sure patients are able to tolerate surgery. A porn star. I put dehydrated things into a stainless steel container. Soda maker. Yeah, like working some. You trapped the kids in my basement. Depacking. I make waste cardboard and plastic. Town food. What? Uh, I give money to people so they can buy things from swindlers. Most of the people have no idea how much the thing they're buying cost. Dad? Nope. Loan agent at a bank? Close enough. I finance cars for dealership. I want to check out this dude's Reddit account because clearly good sense of humor. Oh, wait. Okay, too much, too much. I am gonna skip it. Uh, let's go back to Ask Reddit again and this is gonna be fucking funny. I feel it. What songs would you recommend to someone who just lost one or both legs? I'm still standing. Elton John. Oh, I saw a girl while clubbing so drunk she almost fell, constantly spinning around. This song was playing while she was wasted. Oh, the irony. The DJ knew what he was doing. Should I played You Spin Me Around? I have no idea of any of these songs, but Footloose. Jump. Van Halen. Rem Stand. Genesis. I Can't Dance. It's a good, funny question. What's the lie we've been told by movies? What film franchise do you think needs to stop? I mean, there are a ton, but let's Fast and Furious would be definitely on top. Oh, okay. They need to stop John Wick before they ruin it. Hmm. Jurassic Park. Yeah, I don't even know why they rebooted it in the first place. Terminator. Pirates of the Caribbean before Margaret Robbie. How can they stop something before? I don't know. Matrix, Fast and Furious. Of course, Fast and Furious. See, so many people with fantastic beasts. Okay, that's not uh, best either. Uh, the entire DC and MCU multiverses, or whatever they are called, they are the cinematic equivalent of Control plus V, literal bedtime stories for grown up men. I agree. Miss, well, could be Mr. or Miss Sexual Guarantee. I mean, with that kind of name, it could be anything or anyone. Don't forget that all of the problems in the universe can be solved by learning to work as a team and or punching people. Alright, I am gonna go back to a different Ask Reddit. Because that was a boring one. At what point does the percentage of population or antidepressant reflect more of a systematic issue rather than the individual issue? No, that's too deep. You get a penny every time you do one thing. What thing do you choose? Nice. This is gonna be great. Receive a penny. Uh, that answer is a little too good. It's all fun and games until you have quintillions of pennies pouring out of your windows and people driving from miles away to get their hands on this infinite wealth, leading to unimaginable hyperinflation and the collapse of the global economy. Of course, that's assuming you survive the government coming after you. Oh my god, there was a DuckTales episode where that happened, except it was quarters, so it was 25 times worse. More quarters, more problems. Yes, this is what the Biggie Small song was about. Okay, let's go to someone else. Uh, take a step. It's common and incentivizes me to go exercise. Yeah, that's smart. Breathing would be another one. My heart beating. If I have to be actively doing it, then I choose breathing. Blink. Edit. I get it. Brain cells and dying cells make more. But at least I won't crash the economy by blinking. Y'all would make your money worth less. Every time a neuron in my brain fires. Alright, tell me how many do I owe you from this shit? 13 million per second. That's assuming 86 billion neurons average for a higher primate, 10% of which are operating at any given time, firing at a rate of 0.16 firings per neuron per second. 1 billion dollar per second on average, about 1.5 cents. This is a joke. Joke's on you. I'm a vegetable. Use an ATP molecule. Nearly every cell in my body does this 10 million times per second. Have a skin cell die. You lose 30 to 40,000 per minute. Breathe. Wait, so this is what spurred this thought. Okay, it equals about 84k per year by breathing. Like, do you mean 0.10 in an Moving a grain of sand, Googled it, there are about 10,000 grains of sand in a handful. Scooping a handful a second would net 6,000 a minute. That's not even counting all the sand shifting under your feet as you walk down to the shore. 1 minute of scooping sand a day for a year equal to 2.1 million. That was some of the most pointless and satisfying math I've ever done in my life. Yeah, people are so wonderful. See, this is what I enjoy about living in this timeline. I bet we had something similar back in the day too. Maybe there were magazines and uh, but like the collaboration of this level was never done before. I mean, even on in the magazine, you would have to wait until like people, write their comments or whatever, and then it goes through the whole editorial process, which could be good and bad. There could have some quality, but at the same time it becomes kind of like a bottleneck, and most of the people would never get an opportunity to express their voice, their thoughts so openly. And that's the best part of living in this timeline, right? Especially when we let people say whatever they want to say. A lot of people, they say stupid things. They come up with like bullshit scenario. They come up with like all the things they observed, or not observed per se, but absorbed and observed over their lifetime. And based on that, you can gauge and predict, like, where what is the cultural, social, religious, political, um, you know sides this particular individual stand on. But platforms like Reddit are wonderful. Like, look at all the craziness. I mean, sure, there are people who would try to be more serious, but a lot of people on Reddit are kind of like goofy. The anonymity, to larger degree, kind of help people to hide their actual identity and be more open and say something which could be which they probably wouldn't in real life situation, right? And I think this is all for good, because having this level of interaction among people will help at individual level, because we all, being human, need interactions. Even though there are few not few there are a lot of disadvantages of internet as well, but uh, that's a conversation for another time. But I'm glad we landed on Reddit today, because I was in a mood to read some funny stuff. So Reddit never disappoints, and plenty of times IMDb comments are great too. So we'll do that, hopefully one day, in all the random uh, um, streams we had so far. I don't think we ever visited IMDb reviews yet. I mean, I remember I did that once, but that was because I wanted to. Um, Anyhow, this was great, and we're gonna do this again. And until then,